Thank you for tuning to my channel. This is Takan, and today we are going to dive right into the peace deal between the Democratic Republic of Congo and Rwanda. And just so you know, the United States helped broker the peace deal between DRC and Rwanda. All right, let's dive right into it. Now let's start with a little backstory. The Congo and Rwanda have been in conflict for years. They've had a very rocky relationship over the years, and rebel groups in the eastern Congo have been causing a lot of chaos in the area, leading to so much violence, displaced families, and a lot of suffering in the area. So it's been a tough and messy situation for far too long, and this deal is very significant as this will bring peace in the area. So, for these two countries to come together with one goal in mind, which is peace, of course, is very significant because both countries are promising to join forces to fight the rebels and to help refugees safely return to their homes. And most importantly, they're building trust so that the peace has a real chance of lasting longer than previous peace deals that were signed. Now, for the Democratic Republic of Congo, the peace deal is a big win, very big win. There'll be less violence, which means people can return to their homes, businesses can start to grow again, and communities can rebuild. It's a glimmer of hope as well for Rwanda because it strengthens their security, makes their borders a lot more safer, and positions them as the leader of the region. So it's a win win. Now, a peace deal is one thing, but it's going to require a lot of commitment on the part of both parties, right? And the United States will be there to hold both countries accountable. And at the end of the day, a peace deal is just the beginning. And both countries, at least it's a beginning of a chance for both countries to live in peace, for a country to start rebuilding again, and to see some sort of development in the area from both countries. And I know Rwanda is doing pretty well, but this is going to really help Congo start rebuilding and have people or companies investing again in the area and creating jobs for the locals.
Thank you all for being here today. I'm honored to be here with my counterparts, the foreign ministers of Rwanda and the Democratic Republic of Congo, to witness the Declaration of Principles for Peace in the Eastern DRC. It's a declaration that establishes a fundamental understanding of regional governance, security, economic frameworks, and end the fighting and allow the region to reach its full potential. The eastern part of the Democratic Republic has seen 30 years of conflict. Durable peace and long-lasting economic development is not going to be easy, but it is important. And having both of my counterparts here, the foreign ministers of these respective countries, demonstrates the beginning of a strong commitment to having the conversations that we need to have in order to reach a resolution. I'm proud to work for a president who's made peace, stable global peace, a priority of this administration. And today is evidence of that. He wants to see a peaceful resolution in many parts of the world, but he wants to see a peaceful resolution here, and we want to play a constructive, productive, and important and key role in ensuring that that can happen. And
all right, let me pause it right there really quick. You heard what Marco Rubio just said. He says that it's all about the peace. Okay, I've heard a lot of Africans online saying, "Oh, the Americans come to steal their resources," and we have to learn to differentiate between different governments in the United States and different parties. Okay, we have parties that whenever they are in office, it's all about taking from Africans. Okay, it's all about causing wars in Africa. We have to differentiate those things. We have to notice who is doing what for Africans, who is the one that's trying to bring peace in the region, right? So we have to make that clear. What is the administration that is taking this initiative that others did not, you know, and give them credit for it? Now, a lot of people make it sound like The people are not Africans are not happy. They are very skeptical. But based on there's a journalist that interviewed Trump, and she seems really excited. And it looks like if a couple of people from the region, from the Congo, seem really excited about this deal because it's a win-win. It's a transaction. It's a negotiation as opposed to people just coming in and causing wars in the area, destabilizing the place and benefiting from the Congolese or from Rwandans, right? So this is how it should be. They should come to the table, negotiate, hold a dialogue. That's how it should be. And we're going to be watching. We're going to be watching, and we're going to be, if whatever comes up, we are going to be discussing it. And if things go wrong, and if things are not done right by the Congolese or Rwandans, we're going to call them out on it. It's that simple. So let's watch this journalist interview Trump.
Share on your social media about the great news for Africa. Can you tell more for the African people? Everybody's so excited.
We do. We have a great news, I believe, coming up with Rwanda and the Congo. And I think you're going to be seeing peace in Rwanda and the Congo and a few other nations right around. And that would be a terrific thing. So we hope that's going to happen.
And also, your administration will invest over $6 billion to the Angolan Lubero corridor that will basically transport minerals, critical minerals from Congo, Angola, and many other countries.
We're looking to do some nice things and keep it peaceful. We're going to keep it peaceful. Thank you, Don.
Thank you.
We're going to keep it peaceful. This is a president that is looking for peace around the globe. As you can see, this is exactly what Africans have been asking for years. Negotiations, coming to the table, having a dialogue, and having that transactional relationship, okay? This is what Africans have been asking for decades. This peace deal, if it goes through, if both parties follow through, and it's going to bring peace in the area. It's going to invite investors in the area. It's going to help the country rebuild. It's going to create jobs. Instead of people spending, 20, 30 years in war, who wants to go and invest in a place that's infested with war, right? Nobody wants that. So we're excited about that. I'm excited. I'm excited for Congo and Rwanda. And I'm excited for this president because he is doing everything, no matter what mainstream media is telling you. If you dig into the deep web and go to the real truth tellers, you will realize this president is doing everything to bring peace around the globe. Look at what he's doing in the Ukraine. Look at what he's doing in Rwanda and DRC. And also in one of his Truth Social accounts, he did mention that they are going to support Somalia in fighting the Houthis. Okay, so when mainstream media goes around telling you, "Oh, this president's racist, doesn't care for Africans," no, the man wants peace around the globe. It's that simple. Okay, if you do your own little research, you're going to realize this man is one of the. It's going to be in history is going to know him as one of the best leaders of the free world, and that's a fact. You can argue all day. It's a fact. If you do your research, you're going to find out that whatever conspiracy theory you've heard on mainstream media is not true. Now let's shift gears to another, what I'll call rebels that we have here at home. Okay, now let's talk about the challenges here that we're facing in the United States. And that's what illegal immigration. And like I said, in my community, people don't like talking about it because our politics in my community, our politics is all about immigration. Because people are, oh, my grandma can't come here. Oh, because they don't pay attention. That's not what we're talking about here. They're talking about illegal immigration and the fact that the Biden administration opened the border wide open, and you had MS-13 gang members from different countries in South America coming into the country and committing heinous crimes. Okay, that's what we're talking about here. We're not talking about your grandma getting a visitor's visa and coming here, or student visa coming here. We're talking about illegal immigration and a border that was left wide open. Okay, so let's shift gears from the peace deal in the Congo and Rwanda and look at what's going on in our backyard. Okay, you have gang members that came into the country because the border was left wide open with fentanyl as an increase coming into the country, children being trafficked, women being trafficked across the border without anything as much as vetting. And because mainstream media, when Trump was still campaigning, he made a promise to the American people that he was going to do mass deportation, which Tom Homan, of course, started doing. And mainstream media, because they want to make Trump look bad, they said, "Oh, he promised mass deportation and he's not doing it." And so Trump decided, you know how Karen Leavitt, the press secretary, typically takes questions at the White House in front of the lawn, right? So what they do, they put on the pictures of all the criminals that they're deporting in front of the lawn. That way, when mainstream media is out there asking, when the press is out there asking questions, they cannot miss those pictures. So, folks, how many times have you watched TV and there's a news report on some criminal and they blurred his face? How many times have you seen that? I have never seen that. If you've seen that, please put in the comment section. And these criminals that they put in the lawns, some of these mainstream media, I don't understand what the obsession is with these criminals. These criminals came across the border during the Biden administration, and for some reason, the mainstream media is trying to shield them, it's trying to protect them. And I'll tell you in the end what I think is going on here. Let's take a listen.
Due process. We don't know if, in fact, these individuals do have a rap sheet. So,
what does she mean, rap sheet? These people have been in court. A lot of them have been ruled as gang members and part of the MS-13.
I would encourage those individuals that have that as a backshot to blur those people out. The job of journalism is to ensure that we are presenting the facts. The press right now,
which you don't. You are presenting zero facts, okay? Now we know what mainstream media does. They've been lying to us for decades. And now everything is coming to light and they are shaking in their boots, okay? They're not telling the truth. You know, they're all, I believe these people are all operatives. They're activists. They were placed there to lie to we the people.
now we are absolutely under attack. Our job is always to have our true north, to make sure that we're presenting balanced news, and making sure that we are not putting folks that are potentially in danger, and having that representation of those pictures in the background. We can't allow that to basically for us to carry the water of potentially innocent people. So,
what potentially innocent people? These people have been vetted. These people have records. Okay? It's not like it's written right there what this guy did. This one was arrested. And that's due process right there. He was arrested, and they found out he raped someone. Was probably called. They probably called the police because this person raped somebody. This one was arrested because sexual assault of a child. What due process are they talking about?
I would encourage. I recognize live shots are tough, but I would encourage folks to
No,
actually
they're not.
make sure that those shots are blurred to the best of your abilities.
What are they hiding? You know what I think this is? I think these criminals, they opened the border for a reason. Okay? You see all these, somebody who is a whistleblower suddenly commits suicide, or there's some bombing somewhere, or some school shooting somewhere. Well, not a school shooting per se, but all other crimes that are committed in this country. These are the assets. This is what they need for that. That's my opinion. If you have a different opinion, you can put it in the comment section and we can have a discussion. Now let's switch gears to other immigration news, in which the deporter in chief's wife said she's losing sleep at night thinking about people of color and with the current atmosphere. Let's hear what she has to say.
The immigrants, so it's not the fear for myself anymore. I drive around in a 4-car motorcade with a police escort. I'm Michelle Obama. I do still worry about my daughters in the world, even though they are somewhat recognizable. So my fears are for what I know is happening out there in streets all over the city. And now that we have leadership that is sort of indiscriminately determining who belongs and who doesn't, and we know that those decisions aren't being made with courts and with due process, and that it's being made like this cop that pulled my brother over when he was 12. You don't look like somebody that belongs. I can determine just by looking at you that you're a good person or you're not a good person. And knowing that there's so much bias and so much racism and so much ignorance that fuels those kind of choices, I worry for people of color all over this country. And I don't know that we will have the advocates to protect everybody. And that frightens me. It keeps me up at night.
Oh, I'm so sorry, Michelle Obama. I'm so sorry that it keeps you up at night. Um, just knowing that people of color are being deported. Where is this happening? I have 2 black boys, and they're both drivers. They've been pulled over. They've been taught, remove your documents and show the police officer, and we got no fighting, no arguing. Just obey the law, show your driver's license, show your registration. It's that simple. Now, these people need to live in the Middle East. They need to live in Pakistan, live in China, live in Japan, live in this country and see what real racism is. What are they talking about? This is the only country in the world where a black person like her can excel. She cannot excel in Japan, China, Pakistan, okay? Or the Middle East. I've lived in these countries except for India and China. These people raise bait all day long. They just don't stop because people are not paying attention and they buy into. Now, let's hear what the Border Patrol has to say about this deporter-in-chief's wife.
It's a couple of things, Chief. One, her husband was called the deporter-in-chief, and two, she doesn't note that the people that are being deported right now are the worst of the worst, the criminals that have kind of made their way into this country illegally, sir.
So absolutely, you're absolutely right. Deporter-in-chief was the title that he was given. But I want to put this in perspective. Immigration enforcement does not see color. Immigration is a status. You are either a legal immigrant or an illegal alien. And to put it further into context, last year we apprehended and arrested people from over 145 different countries of all nationalities, creed, and colors.
So many people are out there talking about, oh, Tom Holman, he's evil, he's deporting all these people. And some people have made it a race issue, which is not, because everybody that is illegal is being deported, especially criminals. Okay, so let's hear what he has to say. That's what Michelle Obama did not mention, the fact that criminals are being deported from the country, which keeps their family safe, keeps their children safe. But oh, that's not important. We have to raise bait. We have to talk about race in everything. Everything. This is a woman who said herself that she drives in a motorcade. Where's the racism that she's seeing? If she's always with armed guards, how is she seeing all this racism she's talking about? Oh, she's looking at those people's faces on the streets and she's just wondering what they're thinking. No, we're not thinking anything. We're just going about our lives, and we're happy that there's a leader in the free world that is taking our criminals and I don't need to go into a store and be looking over my shoulders in the next few years. Okay, let's hear what this man has to say about what's going on at the border.
Just a few things. Look, I started in Border Patrol in 1984. I've been at this for over 40 years. I worked for 6 presidents, starting with Ronald Reagan. Every president ever worked for took border security seriously, because you can't have national security if you don't have strong border security. We got to know who's coming in, what's coming in, where's coming in, why it's coming in, right? Even President Obama and President Clinton took some steps to secure the border because they understood national security was important. Joe Biden was the first president in the history of this nation who came in office and unsecured a border on purpose. That's just a fact. We handed the Biden administration, after President Trump's first administration, we handed the Biden administration the most secure border in my lifetime, and he unsecured it on purpose. Now President Trump and this administration here, the success is unprecedented. We beat Trump's first administration on border success. Border numbers are historic low. Today, as I'm standing here, we have the most secure border in the history of this nation. And the numbers prove it. President Trump's policies are saving lives every day. There's been studies done that says 31% of women that make that journey through use of cartels get sexually assaulted. When President Trump has illegal immigration down 96%, when 96% less people are coming, how many women aren't being sexually assaulted by the cartels? How many children aren't dying making that journey? How many women and children aren't being sex trafficked into this nation? How many known suspected terrorists aren't making it into this country? How many pounds of fentanyl isn't getting into this country to kill young Americans? How many women and children aren't sex trafficked?
Exactly. All right, people don't think about that. People like Michelle who drive in their motorcade, they don't think about that. Tom Harman has been in this business over 40 years. He knows what's going on at that border. When has Michelle Obama been to the border? She's talking about not sleeping at night because they're deporting people. They're deporting criminals, Michelle. That's what they're doing. And this is helping keep the environment safe, keep the streets safe for our children and our children's children. That's what's happening. Okay? They are saving the lives of women and children that are being assaulted across those borders. Do you know what it means to come across that border and walk the desert for days alongside gang members, alongside child and women traffickers? Somebody go ask Michelle Obama these questions. When she rides in her motorcade, which she said herself, who is she talking to? Is she talking to local, normal people? Who is she talking to that's telling her, oh, I don't feel safe? If you interview people on the streets right now as we speak, most of them are very happy. They're saying they feel safer, they feel more comfortable, because they feel like they're removing criminals from our society. So I wonder what she's talking about. Everything's not about race. I encourage this woman to go live in the Middle East, not as Michelle Obama. In short, they won't even like her over there. Try to live in those countries like a regular citizen, not regular, like a regular resident. Try living in these countries, and then you see the real face of racism. These people, they're so ungrateful.
Joe Biden, sex trafficking is up 600%. We had 4,000 aliens dying making that journey. We had 250,000 Americans dead from fentanyl that came across an open border. President Trump's policy saves lives every day. Even the border wall saves lives. If people want to hate on the border wall, every place a border barrier has been built, illegal migration's declined, illegal drug flows declined. But you know what no one talks about? The border wall saves lives. Because the most vulnerable, the women and children, can't get over that wall, which means they're going to a place where there's not a wall. And what's waiting on them? The men and women of the United States Border Patrol who will take care of those humanitarian needs, the health needs right off the bat.
Oh, mainstream media is not going to tell you about that part. They're not going to tell you the wall is saving a lot of lives. I remember in 2023, I believe it's a 5-year-old and 5-year-old and 6 or 7-year-old. They climbed these criminals, these cartels, climbed the ladder from the other side of the wall and dropped that child from 6 feet. 6 feet. Okay? For whoever is on this other side to come pick them up, because that's child trafficking, right? So when people go talking about immigration, you need to do your research, okay? Instead of just demonizing people that are trying to make society safer for you and for your family. People need to wake up. Now, ladies and gentlemen, as you can see, mainstream media is constantly fear mongering, gaslighting, and using their foot soldiers in the houses to lie to you, to make you scared. Okay, they're out there talking about, immigration is racist. You know, immigration, as you can see, the border chief said that it doesn't. There's no color. They have apprehended people of different races, people from different countries. Okay, and they're telling you, oh, they're gonna cut your Medicare and Social Security. That's not happening. They said they were cutting all the fraud, which means those that are receiving Social Security that don't exist, they will have to stop all those. That's what they're talking about. So if you're not paying attention, these people will keep lying to you. And we could go back to, remember, COVID, safe and effective. The vaccine is safe and effective. How many people died because they were misinformed? How many people died and had after effects because they were fear mongering all over the place? All right. Well, that's all I have for you today. And I hope that you enjoy my content and that you find value in my content. I'll encourage you to keep reading, keep listening, and keep an open mind. All right? Enjoy the rest of your day and talk to you soon. Bye-bye.